Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here. Thank the organisers for inviting me. I've enjoyed the last 2 days a great deal. There are so many resonances between what's happening in the UK and what's happening in Spain. I hope you'll find this short presentation useful. As it says on the slide, I'm a board member of Audiences London, and we're a specialist audience development agency. Our work covers the whole of London. But I was also instrumental in setting up Audiences London in 2002, and I was its first chair. I was an executive chair, so I had a lot of responsibility. I was in that role until 2008, but I wanted to stress that I am here as an ambassador. I'm not a member of staff. I'm a volunteer. I think I can just about explain everything we do, but I hope it doesn't get too complicated. I'd like to share with you 2 audience knowledge-based initiatives. One is from Audiences London, and the other is from Arts Council England. That's the national funding body for the arts in England. Both organisations gather and use audience information to inform their strategies and audience development initiatives. Both examples are very current. I hope you'll feel they have some resonance with your own activities. And I think they do work very well with things that have been happening over the last 2 days. And already in this session. Speaking personally, in all the work I've done, I used to be a marketer at the sharp end. I used to work for opera and theatre companies and touring them around the UK. It's always seemed blindingly obvious, I hope the translators get that audience data is at the heart of everything that I did. I did my job better and I achieved far better results, the higher the quality of the information that I had. So, there's one fundamental thing, I think you've probably gathered it from other presentations, that in the UK, arts venues, even really, really small ones, have their own independent computerized ticketing systems. They can capture details on all their ticket purchasers. So we have a wealth of hard behavioral audience data on what people are actually doing, and we appreciate how powerful this can be. But in addition, we have government-funded national surveys with a depth of complementary information, including attitudes and perceptions, and that's built up over many years. We can look at not only who the current audience is, but how it has changed over time, what its potential is, what it thinks, what it believes, how it responds to our marketing and audience development initiatives, and how we might extend the engagement of audiences. This I'd like to call an evidence base, drawn from customer data, market research, and it can support anything from a one-off marketing campaign to long-term national initiatives. So, on to London. I think you know where London is. It's big. Big. It's over there. It's got 7.5 million people in the population. That's about 15% of the UK population as a whole. It's the most populous city in the EU. It's one of the most densely settled, I think it's the 3rd most densely settled city in Europe. And just to repeat when I'm talking about London, I don't just mean that nice bit in the centre, inner London, but the whole region, which is 32 different local authorities. Compared with the rest of the UK, London has a relatively young population, and around 42% are what the census calls, with no prejudice, non-white British. There's a constant flow of migrants to and from the capital. A third of all Londoners were born outside the UK. And Multicultural London speaks in 250 languages. That's great. There's an extraordinarily rich cultural mix, and there's the widest possible range of cultural offerings for audiences. So, on to Audiences London, the organisation I'm representing today. It's a not-for-profit agency promoting the development of audiences across London. There are 12 members of staff, and we have an income of about 1.2 million British pounds. That's about 1.35 million euro. We have 70 core participating organisations, and because we're in London, that includes what we call the national companies, the National Theatre, the Royal Opera House, English National Opera. We also include the visual as well as the performing arts and the major performing arts centres, which are the South Bank Centre and the Barbican Arts Centre. And there's a whole range of producing theatres, dance companies, music-based organisations, orchestras. So we support the producers, promoters and venues for performing arts, as well as museums, galleries and touring productions. And I need to stress that we don't do their marketing for them. They all have their own marketing departments. We add something entirely different to the mix and support in a different way. We always begin from the perspective of the audience, and in a very real way we stand as a proxy for that audience to give it a voice, and an equal voice at that. Key to our success, we think, is collaboration. We always undertake projects with a group of organisations working together. We always evaluate projects. We always share the results. We encourage networking, and we build confidence in the individuals responsible for marketing and audience development. Sometimes they're very isolated.